unrecognized by the Trump Federal Labor Relations Board, the National Association of Immigration Judges with IFPTE are pushing to restore their union recognition.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Last Week in Southern Labor is a segment that we do every week, mostly, where we tell you what happened in the labor movement in the South. We pull the information with permission from Jonah Furman's newsletter, Who Gets the Bird?, which compiles all this information for the entire United States. So if you want to see what's going on outside the South, then you should subscribe to that newsletter at whogetsthebird.substack.com. So with that, let's jump into new organizing for the weeks of July 14th through the 23rd. In new organizing, this has been the slowest week of new filings for a long time for Starbucks Workers United, with just 3 stores covering 56 workers filing for elections, including one in Houston, Texas. And that is definitely the slowest week in a long time for new filings for the Starbucks Workers United campaign. But just think about that, the fact that 3 Starbucks stores across the country filing for a union election is a slow week. That's a totally different place than we were in a year ago with Starbucks specifically. So very excited for those workers and looking forward to seeing them win their union election. 41 workers who make and deliver cookies for Tiff's Treats at 2 locations in Austin, Texas, are joining Workers United, or also possible they're forming an independent union with the name Workers United, as we've seen elsewhere. Big new retail brand Lululemon is on the organizing map, as 33 workers in the Georgetown, D.C. location have filed for an independent union. 16 techs and installers for ADT Security in Gainesville, Florida, are unionizing with IBEW Local 1205. 12 workers for what seems like a federal contractor called Inspections Experts in Nashville are joining the operating engineers, Local 369. 7 workers for building products supplier ABC Supply in Bowling Green, Kentucky, are unionizing with Teamsters, Local 89. And this week, the Congressional Workers Union made it official, with staffers at 8 House offices filing to unionize. Those would be Representatives Ro Khanna, Ted Lieu, Cory Bush, Chuy Garcia, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, and Representative Stansbury's offices. So we should be seeing some notices of voluntary recognition very soon.
Hopefully, yes.
In election wins and losses, 152 Starbucks workers this week voted to go with Workers United at 6 of 7 stores that held vote counts this week. But unfortunately, the one vote to happen in the South failed, with union supporters at a Starbucks in Winter Park, Florida, voting not to join the Starbucks Workers United union. With the wins, however, Starbucks Workers United has now officially unionized over 200 stores in 10 months. 200 stores in 10 months.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. 24 workers who make auto parts for Hercules International in Huntington, West Virginia, voted 12-10 to join the Steelworkers. 128 workers who do food sanitation at the Pilgrim's Pride poultry plant in Waco, Texas, voted 3-23, which is just a 20% turnout, not to join UFCW Local 540, though the main unit of hundreds of workers at the plant voted to join the local a year ago. Having been unrecognized by the Trump Federal Labor Relations Board, the National Association of Immigration Judges, which is affiliated with IFPTE, are pushing to restore their union recognition. And while not in the South, shout out to the first ever union at a Trader Joe's in Hadley, Massachusetts. The independent Trader Joe's United Union announced its victory in a post on Twitter, noting, "Despite the company's best efforts to bust us, our majority has never waned." A total of 45 employees voted in favor of unionizing, with 31 against. Extremely exciting news, and 2 other Trader Joe's have since filed for a union election. So hopefully the one in Huntsville follows, not in the not too distant future. In strikes and bargaining, call center workers for the Washington, D.C. Public Transit Agency, WMATA's Paratransit Service Metro Access have authorized a strike with ATU Local 689. In Tampa, the cops with the Police Benevolence Association, the firefighters, International Association of Firefighters Local 754, and the transit workers, ATU Local 1464, all have tentative agreements with a pretty impressive wage pattern, 18.5% raises over 3 years, with 9.5% in the first year. They might actually keep up with inflation. So that's good to hear. IUE-CWA is speaking out against their big employer GE's move nationally to rebrand and split up the company. So we'll see what happens there. And finally, in internal union politics, the UAW's Constitutional Convention is now in session. The best resource that I found for keeping apprised of events is the Unite All Workers for Democracy's daily bulletins, which you can find linked in his newsletter. And I guess in honor of the convention, the 2 imprisoned former presidents of the new union were let out early. So everyone is now clear on the cost of defrauding millions of workers.
Wow. Definitely interested to see what happens out of that convention, though.
The convention just ended a couple of days ago, and I'm sure that Jonah will go over this in next week's Who Gets the Bird. But a couple of things to note. The convention started with an increase in the strike pay from $250 a week to $400 a week. And then at the convention, delegates voted to increase it again to $500 a week, which would match the mine workers' new strike pay of $500 a week. But then, get this, after that, on the last day of the convention, when they were not supposed to have any new business, after many delegates had already gone home, the administration caucus put forward a resolution to rescind that increase in strike pay. And it won. It won because so many of the delegates had already gone back home, and so they went back down to a $400 a week strike pay.
You know, I think that really reiterates the need for the reform movement to keep moving in the UAW.
Yeah.
We need a much stronger, more militant, more democratic UAW. I think that's important for not just the labor movement, really for the state of the United States. And I had a good conversation with a UAW retiree yesterday evening talking about this very thing. He was not aware of the one member, one vote progress that has been made. But we had a long chat about some of the issues in the UAW. And this is someone who, will freely admit that the UAW saved his family and probably saved his life with the benefits and protection they provided. But he certainly experienced some of the downsides as well. So disappointed to hear that about those last-minute, shenanigans at the convention. So really, really want to lift up the UAWD, Unite All Workers for Democracy, and the good work they're doing to reform the UAW to be a better, stronger, more democratic union.
Indeed.
And on this note, I'll take this moment of privilege to shout out the new members of IATSE 900 here in Huntsville, Alabama. We had our meeting Monday evening and swore in about 20 new members, and there's a couple dozen more members that are going to be sworn in next month. So way to go, IATSE 900. Great to see the local stagehands union growing.
Yep. Definitely really exciting. Looking forward to talking to some of them, some of the new folks on the show maybe at some point.
You got one of them already. Was definitely an honor to be sworn in officially on Monday. I really appreciate it. So lots of good brothers and sisters in this union. Hoping for many good things ahead.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.